Hi, fifth graders again. It's Mr. McComb. Hope families are doing well. Everybody's having a great weekend. A little cooler weather and it's really windy today. I just got in from being outside for a little bit. I think I might spend the afternoon inside. But right now it's Sunday and we got a week ahead coming up, a full week, last full week before the Thanksgiving week. We'll just have a short week after that. Should be just a quick update today. Really big, no big general news or info to share except other than the food drive still going on. So we did a great job with several families sent in some cranberry sauce cans last week. So thanks for doing that. If anybody else is able to do that, that'd be awesome to keep gathering those things up. I know with everything this year, we being different and not being able to do a lot of the normal things we do, it's nice we can at least do some good service work like this. So please do, if you can, send in some cranberry sauce for St. Vincent de Paul. Other than that, just quick look at some of the work we did last week and coming in under this week. Science kids are doing a great job with the engineering unit we're into now. Last week we went to the science lab and got to do a quick little practice of creating a product that does a job. We had some clay that we had to meet some criteria to form the clay into a raft design and get it to float. And then after that, the criteria was to see how many pennies it can hold to judge how well it can hold weight and keep improving the design. The kids did a great job. It was a lot of fun. It's a simple little experiment or investigation we can do for engineering where we make a prototype, test the prototype, see if it meets basic criteria, and we can redesign easily since it's made of clay. We had a lot of good designs, a lot of unique designs, um, a lot of different ways of accomplishing the goal of creating a raft that carries as much weight as possible. They had 50 grams of clay. I think one of the groups that had the most had 34 pennies, which was equal to about 75 grams total. So 50 grams of clay that can hold 75 grams of pennies. That's pretty good. So all that improving the prototypes and testing and retesting and redesigning, and that was a lot of fun. A good little lab time there. This week we're going to get into a specific lesson on how does technology improve our lives. We've talked about engineering and creating technology. We've talked about certain kinds of technology we use often, even simple things like, again, pencils and tape dispensers, which we've talked about, basic stuff like that are helpful things that are good technology pieces. And we'll look closely at that and some of the risks that can be involved with some technology as well. So it's another good lesson to kind of hone in on how this stuff is all helpful to us. Then math, big thing last week was we had our division test over chapter 2. Kids did a really great job. I was actually very impressed. I managed to get them all graded before the end of the day, and I was telling one of the teachers part of the reason for that is there weren't too many mistakes. That it's a lot quicker and easier to grade when things are going well. So the kids did a really great job. Hopefully we'll see some. There's a big points to start the trimester, so hopefully we'll see a good start to the grades for that new trimester period for us. But again, great job preparing. Great job. I've been impressed with this group overall as far as paying attention to study guides and marking things down in planners to make sure we're preparing for those things. So really impressive job. This week we'll start working with decimals, and we're going to spend the next couple months at least talking about decimals with all the operations, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing with decimals. I know usually this is a newer thing, newish, that they're not too familiar with from fourth grade. I'm thinking from last year with the time we lost, this might be totally new to them. So we'll start off with just kind of naming the place value of tenths, hundredths, and thousandths. Practice saying the words, saying the decimals appropriately. Writing them, learning, just basically getting comfortable with this whole idea of decimals before we actually start doing any operations with those. So that's something we'll get into to get into the week and just start off real slow and basic and easy. And I'm sure they'll pick it up, and then we'll be ready to keep rocking and rolling with actually solving some problems with decimals. But that's going to be our big focus for the next little while, at least through the new year. And then with English, last week we started with adjectives and a little bit of a rough go. It was mostly good overall, just talking about words that describe nouns and things like that. It's a little bit more abstract, I guess, as far as identifying adjectives for some of us. Nouns are easy to find. Verbs are pretty easy to identify. Adjectives just hold words that describe other words. For some, that was maybe a little bit tricky. So we're going to kind of revisit a few of those examples of some of the main adjectives we can use. This week we'll look at comparing with adjectives like superlatives, and proper adjectives we'll use like American or things like that. That would include, of course, just like proper nouns, a capital letter. And we'll also hopefully get to talking about vivid adjectives, that'll add great detail to writing. So maybe, for example, like instead of saying just something's big, we might say it's enormous or humongous, just a little more detail and a little more vivid with our adjectives there. So that's about all that's going on next week, and looking forward to getting back at it for one more 5-day week, and before we get to the short week ahead for leading up to the Thanksgiving break. So I hope everybody's having a great weekend and ready for another week to start at GA, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.